Ben Affleck, A Very Ungrateful Narcissist, Part 2. Welcome back. We continue our analysis of the behaviours of Ben Affleck to determine whether he is a very ungrateful narcissist. Affleck began dating actress Gwyneth Paltrow in October 1997 after meeting at a Miramax dinner, and they later worked together on Shakespeare in Love in 1998. It's worth a stroll through some of the romantic relationships that Affleck has been involved in, and we will dip in and out of this throughout the progression of this analysis. Although Paltrow and Affleck first broke up in January 1999, months later, Paltrow persuaded Affleck to co-star with her in Bounce, and they soon resumed their relationship. They separated again in October 2000. In 2015, Paltrow said they were friends. Affleck had a long-distance relationship with New York-based television producer Lindsay Shukas from mid-2017 to mid-2018. They briefly dated again in early 2019. Shukas is the head of Saturday Night Live's Talent Department, a show which Affleck has hosted 5 times since 2000. Affleck dated Cuban actress Ana de Armas, whom he met on the set of Deep Water in the fall of 2019, from early 2020 to early 2021. Affleck first dated Jennifer Lopez from 2002 to 2004 after meeting on the set of Yeagley in late 2001. They began a romantic relationship in July 2002 when Lopez filed for divorce from her second husband, Chris Judd. This evidences that there was evidently some interference in the relationship that existed between Lopez and Judd. Interference in a relationship exhibits an absence of emotional empathy, a sense of entitlement, and poor boundary recognition. The relationship between Lopez and Affleck was extensively publicised, with tabloids referring to the couple as Bennifer, the first celebrity portmanteau of its kind. They appeared together in the music video for her song Jenny from the Block and the film Jersey Girl. They became engaged in November 2002. Note that the romantic relationship started in July and already engagement in November, just 4 months later. A swift engagement is, of course, an indicator of a sense of entitlement and the need, of course, to get somebody under control. Their planned wedding on September the 14th, 2003 was postponed with just 4 days' notice because of excessive media attention. They called off the engagement in January 2004. According to Lopez, Affleck's discomfort with the media scrutiny was one reason for their split, and years later she described it as her first real heartbreak. I think different time, different thing, who knows what could have happened, but there was a genuine love there. Both during the relationship and the months after the breakup, Affleck characterised some of the media commentary as rooted in racism, classism, and sexism. That may smack of deflection and blame-shifting. We were thought of as 2 different kinds of people. In subsequent years, he pushed back against the curious notion that he should view the relationship as a mistake and reflected on the prevailing tabloid culture at the time, where it's about one person and everyone focuses on them. Affleck acknowledged that there were ways I did contribute to it, citing the Jenny from the Block music video and a joint promotional video for Yeagley. Does that appear to be that he's taking accountability with those observations? He said neither of them anticipated the degree of attention they would receive. I think Jen and I made a mistake in that we fell in love. We were excited and maybe too accessible. Affleck and Lopez remained in contact in the years after their breakup and spoke highly of each other in public. They began dating again in April 2021, 20 years after they first met, with Lopez publicly confirming their rekindled romance that July. More about that later. Affleck was married to actress Jennifer Garner from 2005 to 2018. They began dating in mid-2004, having established a friendship on the sets of Pearl Harbor 2001 and Daredevil 2003. They were married on the 29th of June 2005 in a private ceremony. Victor Garber, who officiated the ceremony, and his partner Raina Andresen were the only guests. They announced their separation in June 2015. with Affleck continuing to live in a guest house at the family home until mid-2017. The length of the relationship is roughly 11 years. And, of course, while some relationships of a narcissist are tempestuous, on-off, you are also aware that the relationship between some narcissists and the intimate partner primary source takes an alternative dynamic whereby there is the seduction, the love bombing, the continued golden period when they're embedded as the intimate partner primary source, and then devaluing behaviours. It's apparent that many of the devaluing behaviours, if Affleck is a narcissist, were linked to excessive alcohol consumption, problems with drink, and a failure to account for those behaviours and the consequential impact that it had upon Garner and also his children. More about that in due course. As I was explaining, the dynamic ordinarily would be seduction, embedding, and then sustained devaluation, respite periods, and then devaluation, ultimately resulting, in this instance, with the relationship ending either because of escape or because the narcissist disengages. The fact that Affleck continued to live in the guest house at the family home could be interpreted as maintaining a presence for the sake of the children whilst being separate. Of course, those who are in a position of wealth have that advantage that they can afford such homes easily. Of course, why might it not be the case that he obtains a separate home a little distance away, so there's clear boundary between him and Jennifer Garner? It might be that the case that he remained there because he needed to assert control, that the relationship was over, yet it wasn't over. This is common with narcissists, that where we say we don't want to see you anymore, but then we continue to hoover you. So which is it? It might be that the narcissist says, well, we're just dating, we're just friends, but then all of a sudden becomes amorous and intimate with you. There's a blurring of the lines and there is a confusion. And this arises out of our sense of entitlement. The fact that the narcissist will not stick to one position because of the necessity of expedience. The fact that the narcissism will cause the narcissist on one instance to say, we're just friends, as a means of asserting control over you, perhaps with facade management, and then shortly thereafter become amorous with you, and then go back to being friends, flitting and alternating between those two states, leaving the victim somewhat confused as to what's going on. It's often the case that there is no guillotine moment, no clean break, but rather, because of the narcissist's unconscious sense of entitlement and lack of accountability, and of course the need to assert control, that the relationship is never properly severed, that there are some kind of ties. Of course, they have a tie by virtue of the fact that they had children together, but even then, a relationship could be brought to an end with the interaction solely about the children. The fact that he remained on the property is evidence that suggests that there was a necessity to continue to assert control. The couple jointly filed for divorce in April 2017, and it was finalised in October 2018. In 2020, Affleck described the divorce as the biggest regret of my life and a painful experience, even if you're on the best possible terms and you agree it's the best choice. That seems rather a mixed message. If he regretted it so much, then why did he get divorced? And he refers to it as being a painful experience. Might this be a pity play? Affleck and Garner have 3 children together: daughters Violet Ann, Serafina Rose Elizabeth, and son Samuel Garner. In their divorce filings, Affleck and Garner sought joint physical and legal custody of their children. While Affleck believes paparazzi attention is part of the deal of stardom, he has spoken out against photographs taken at his private residence, and paparazzi interest in his children specifically, who he says became the big money draw for photographers waiting outside his home. In 2013, Affleck and Garner hosted an event for lawmakers at their home in support of a bill that would protect celebrities' children from harassment by photographers. Their 6-year-old daughter made a speech about her personal experiences. Garner also testified before the California Assembly Judiciary Committee in support of the bill, which later became law. While photographs of children may still be taken, behaviour which seriously alarms, annoys, torments, or terrorises children is illegal, as is lying in wait outside their various activities. Despite the law, photographers still regularly wait outside their children's school, and police assistance is sometimes required when they get too close. In 2014, Affleck argued in favour of United Kingdom-style legislation which requires media outlets to blur children's faces in published photos. This activity with regard to the children in terms of dealing with paparazzi photographs may well exhibit emotional empathy for them. Alternatively, is the behaviour of the paparazzi a threat to control, necessitating a response by way of the nullification of control in the form described? We will return to more with regard to Ben Affleck's relationships in a further part of this. So far, there is evidence that might support the operation of a sense of entitlement, the need to assert control, lack of accountability, poor boundary recognition, having multiple intimate partners. However, there are also instances which suggest that there may well be emotional empathy and accountability at work. Therefore, the jury still remains out. Join me in part 3 as we continue this analysis.